Bruh.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of
Attila Concert Review.
A Pathetic Podcast. I'm Christian, and I'm joined as always by the most beautiful, but also ugly on the inside, person in the entire world. It's Patrick.
What's up, YouTube? Make sure to follow at SennaGladbag on Twitter.com. Don't follow at PodPathetic. Don't follow anything we do. Follow Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter, follow me. Everybody else, follow at Scented Gladbag. You'll see the chains and the e-girl font that I use for my name.
Unscented Gladbag, please.
There it is.
And today we're joined by our basically third host at this point. He has been on this podcast now. This is three. This is number 3.
I was gone for the second time.
Yeah.
Two on video now.
Yes, 2 on video, 3 altogether. He is, like I said, honorary third podcast host. It's Jimmy Green. Hello, Jimbo.
Hello.
I thought you were going to say make some noise when you were doing your intro. And I was like, could you imagine a bunch of people just sitting there like at home watching a YouTube video like,
Whoa!
And let's spend this whole time peeking out the mics for everybody.
I don't do it on my own podcast, got to do it on yours.
That's okay. Because
That's what this is for.
yours is nice and conversational and good and funny, and then ours ends up with me yelling a lot.
Well, it's basically what we do. But yeah, Jimmy's back because he just wanted to be here, and we basically, anytime he says, "Hey, can I come be on the podcast?" we go,
Bet.
"Yeah, okay." Yeah,
See,
why
what
not?
I keep actually hoping for is that I'm going to land on a day where there's someone else here that I know. And I get to just fucking...
You need to be on the follow-up to Eric's, because Eric's, you know, on Eric's episode, I said he needs to come back after the kid has been around for a little while. Mm-hmm. So you need to be here for that, so we can just grill him.
Wasn't that a cute name to give that kid, by
Dude,
the way?
did you hear what we
Miho?
said? Miho.
Miho.
Dude, that's
I
my
like that.
my favorite Little Road Mexican restaurant. I'm so glad that he was named after. No, we actually said with a name like Milo and with two like really cool parents like Eric and Chelsea,
He better fucking go to college.
He better. He's gonna be really good at some weird art form like balancing stones on like a Finnish river or something. But like,
He's gonna take a lot of like really close-up pictures that are like really blurry and shit.
Lucrative.
It's like a
influencer.
leaf. It's like a leaf that's in a puddle, and it's just really close up and blurry.
But he writes the quote.
Yeah,
Well, shit talking infant, we don't care.
it's all out of love.
After last week, man, I hate kids. No more children on a pathetic podcast at all.
Yeah, if you're underage, that's a nah.
I don't know. I thought it was like it's like De Niro and Scorsese at work, you know?
It really was.
And I'm not talking about you two. And you guys were more like zookeepers, like, and someone opened the cage doors, and you're like, "Where the fuck are the tasers?"
Well, that's why we were positioned on the outside of them so that we can wrangle them in properly.
Hey, Olin and Zane, thank you for coming on. Had a good time, but gonna zing you a couple times here. The thing is too is I always feel like I'm very scatterbrained and very extremely ADD. And then when I was there, I felt like a mom who had just her kid's been yelling at IKEA all day, and it's like, fine, we'll go get some fucking meatballs, and they're just crying in the fucking cafeteria, and they just have this give up look with their fucking air plants that they bought for like $78. So that's how I felt.
You know what it was?
What?
It was being in the Burger King play place, right? And you're climbing up because you know they've got that 3-story drop slide, right?
Yeah.
And you're up in there, and then you run face to face with another kid, and he just like stops and sits there, and you're like, what the fuck is this kid doing? And then he just throws up, and you're like, great, I don't get to slide today.
So, side note, I don't know if either one of y'all remember this, but y'all, you know about the McDonald's that's like by the Taco Bueno Barrel neighborhood that we grew up in?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one,
Yeah, that's
okay,
like it's like right by the like where Lone Star Comics was. And all that shit.
The Burger King I was referring to is now a Popeyes. I think.
I didn't. It's a Taco Casa, sweetie.
Is it
and
really?
they shut off the whole giant fucking 3-story mega area where the slide was, and I'm like, what is that? Offices? What do they put up there? But anyway,
That's why we keep the files.
I don't know if y'all remember, but when we were a kid, before they redid that McDonald's, there was like a big blue pod that was like a room inside of that play place. And what most grown-ups of that time didn't know was that was a children's fight club going on up there. Like, it was just this dome. There'd be a bunch of strange kids in there. We're just beating the fuck out of each other. So I don't know if y'all ever partook in that activity.
I didn't go to that one. I lived pretty close to you guys, but I went to the one that was by the, where the Kroger is, or where the Kohl's is now.
Oh, yeah, way up there. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that one doesn't even exist. Oh, it does. Yeah, that one
Yeah, I
does
think
exist.
it's still there.
They turned the 7-Eleven into like a cash for gold place or some shit like that.
I used to
so-
arrange toddler fights at Stovall Park. Dude, niche jokes. I realized the other day I'm really good at niche jokes. Like yesterday, I posted a video of Vane playing at This Is Hardcore. And it was the video where somebody had edited it, so it was just the sound of like windbreakers and fucking fucking carabiners. And I added the sound of the audio from a YouTube video of a guy teaching someone how to assemble a bed frame.
I saw that.
And I was like, and I was talking. The idea came from talking to my buddy Cage, and we were talking about it, and he was like, "That's so niche." And I was like, "God damn, it really is." And I just got to thinking about how, on an average, like how many jokes I make that like about 15 people will understand.
See, that's the problem. We do that a lot here as well. There's
Yeah.
jokes that have so many layers that I know that there's probably like 5 people that are like my friends or whatever that probably get a nose exhale laugh like in the office going, and then the rest are people that are going,
What?
huh?
Some of my favorite things to laugh at are things where I don't get it. That's like some of my favorite things in the world.
See, but here's what we're doing. We're setting the foundation for where we live in this bubble, right? Because this is the most targeted podcast in the world. And we're just going to expand the bubble eventually, and that's what it'll be. Yes, targeted. Thank you.
As soon as I think that we're waiting on something before we can really expand. Like right now, we're staying in our metalcore plant hardcore bubble, but pretty soon as I get that follow from that blue checkmark boy AC, another crazy story. Come on, AC. As soon as Aaron Carter follows me on Twitter.com, Aaron, please, I'm desperate. Please follow at Scented Glad Bag.
This joke is spiraling, by the way, because I was at like a.
who else is spiraling?
Me?
Aaron Carter.
I think he's spiraled at this point. It's already a done deal.
No.
I'm sorry, he's perfect.
Face tattoo, sick as fuck. Shut the fuck up. And y'all are so foolish because he knows what he's doing. He was on No Jumper. He did a second appearance on No Jumper, and at one point they were talking about beating each other up, and he goes, "I already beat Shaq," and it was in such passing, nobody laughed, and I was like, oh.
But this joke is spiraling because I was at a work event. Like we went bowling, and it was one of those bowling alleys where they have like the gigantic screens at the end of the lanes.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And it was an Aaron Carter. Oh, it was Aaron's party came on, and I was filming it and like zooming in to send a Pat, and it looked like I was filming like the people at my work, so they were like turning and smiling, and I was just like zooming in on Aaron Carter.
God.
That's
Hey,
one-
he did a I Want Candy cover, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, yes, he sure fucking did, brother.
that's what made me uncomfortable.
Oh, dude, fuck you. The original I Want Candy doesn't matter. AC's I Want Candy, and we're like that. I call him AC. Dope as shit. The original one doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, the old one is a cover of his version at this point.
Crossing?
Coming down, and I will not forget all the times that we almost lit another fire, but another something, but it still missed me.
YouTube, do your thing.
There's nothing to do there. That's on Spotify. Yeah. You want to hear some sad news? One of the vocalists of that band.
I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was my buddy's neighbor. We're younger.
Passed away. Pat and I are talking about a band we knew in high school.
I'm scared.
That somehow, actually, I mean, going to see that band was how I started going to local shows.
Yeah, same.
So I started going to the Door Fort Worth. So basically, ultimately, it's how I know you guys. But like,
Yo, shouts out Atlantic Crossing for making this podcast happen. That's a long game if I ever heard one.
the main vocalist behind the band was he was killed. I don't remember. It was like a car wreck or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. I believe he was hit by a car.
That happened a few years ago. But yeah, it's just one of those things that me and Pat have always never forgotten. Was like music from that band, and like Oh, I don't know. It was weird.
Part of it is whenever
Go see Knockout Kings because they were headlining.
they played every shit like Incendiary, not the hardcore band.
No, the different Incendiary.
There was a time that Drew who joined Atlantic Crossing later. He was the vocalist of Mariner.
that's right.
Yeah. So I was in a band with him for a while, and all the time we'd be having practice, and we would just break out into like Short of You or something, and like he'd just be like, guys. And then like I learned how to play that little riff from that "Coming For What Is Our" song, and I would always just start playing that, and he would just be like, all right. Cool.
Dude, when's Waiting for Dawn gonna have their comeback?
I
keep driving this into niche, and I'm sorry. We can
Yeah,
let's change
it's getting
subject.
smaller and smaller
Talk
as
about
it goes
something
on.
else. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
We did the AC status update.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about.
Let's talk more about Olin and Zane.
Okay. So the entire room smelled like a garlic burp.
How did they? In all honesty, how did they walk into this situation? Like, and what was going on in their heads? Did they walk in completely unprepared? Like they hadn't thought about anything as far as like just how to even compose themselves?
Well, the thing is,
I'm pretty
and
sure.
I don't expect that, especially people that haven't been on a podcast. But like, Olin shows up and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to be there," so I go outside, and he pulls up and he opens his window and just looks at me smiling, and I'm like, "Hello," and he just keeps looking at me smiling. So then he comes in, and then Zane was late as shit. Both of them nice as fuck vehicles, by the way. Just fucking slapping the paint off the curb, brother, and they fucking and they showed up.
They rolled up in camo Miatas.
Actually, yes. And fucking, no, they came in here and we did the whole segment, and then it got out of hand whenever I tried to do a plug that I can't do anymore because Yellowbird sent me like basically one of their promo sauce boxes that had a sampler, and I was going to do this nice little thing and send it back to them, but it just became this utter fucking mess of like smacking sauces and drinking them and saying fucking shit every other word, and I was like, I can't send this to them. Like, this isn't in any form of review of like, oh, this is good because it tastes like this. So I was like, all right, well, guess that opportunity is gone. But
To be fair, I was trying to make it that because I kept tasting the sauces and being like, oh, this is really good. And then they would just chug the whole fucking bottle and burp.
there were funny parts. Like whenever Zane goes into the he goes into his northeastern accent, and he started talking about this being a cart night review channel, and he's like, all right, YouTube, we're gonna go into a cart night. Like,
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting
Here's the moral of the story.
experience.
Yellowtail.
Bird.
What's Yellowtail? Oh, that's a wine. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yellowtail. We need a bottle. Yellowbird. We need more bottles.
Yellowbird, I want to thank you guys so much for always being so supportive and so nice. You're my favorite Austin sauce company. But
It is a good sauce. I'm just confused.
Honestly, it is. Everybody actually really likes the sauce. I'm very sorry that the children that I brought on the show completely ruined that, because I was going to plug you on. I was going to really make it a friendly, nice thing, but it just got ruined. And you know why I didn't get to try any of the sauces? Because filled with saliva they were.
Shit on my jorts I did.
But it was, I don't know. I guess that ship has sailed, trying to be friends with the Yellowbird now. But
I mean, it was.
Hit me up. We haven't done anything like that on Jimbo's Paradise, so.
Yeah, we'll just pass it off to the other part of the Jimbo's extended podcast
Oh yeah,
universe.
that was decided today that you were part of my extended universe.
Yeah, we're just members of the Jimbo's
How
extended
sick
podcast
is it going to be
universe.
when Disney buys me and ignores you as part of the extended canon?
No, we're the.
You guys are now the shadow of the empire.
We're the Netflix TV show.
no, you know what we
version
are.
of the.
You're the defenders of the
Yeah,
fucking.
we're the defenders, exactly. We're the fucking Inhumans.
Jimbo's Paradise is Friends, the TV show, and our podcast
fucking dare you.
is that our podcast is that shitty Joey Tribbiani spinoff that lasted like 2 episodes. And then people are like, "No, I'm like literally." There was a trailer for that, and I remember being a child and being like, "I'm not watching that." Like knowing immediately, "Oh, cool, not watching it ever. No interest. Not looking back at it either."
I've got a more current and possibly irritating
Connection?
reference.
Just throw it out there.
It's like I'm blackish and you guys are mixedish,
Thank you for.
which are both TV shows. I wanted to point that out. I wasn't.
I didn't realize that mixed was mixed.
Yeah, it just
was
started
real.
like a couple weeks ago.
Is it? I mean, is it?
It's about a mixed family.
Why?
Well, because it's talking about the experience.
I see. Okay. I
Opening more white people up to that world who watch sitcoms.
I just live in my little.
Oh, I don't watch them. I just tell people about them on the radio. Every day I do a segment where I tell everybody what's going to be on TV that night. I say, hey, here's all this stuff, and they go, wow. And then on Wednesdays is Chicago night if it's in season, and from 7 to 8 and 9, it's like Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and every time I talk about it, I get excited as fuck. I've never watched a single one of those shows. I never will. I'm just so stoked that for
I've actually watched an episode of one of those.
3 hours you have to watch Chicago content
You just
on a nationwide station.
One night, just pull out a sheet for a weeknight in like 2005, and just be
Tweet
like,
it
all
out.
right, tonight on
Dharma
ABC,
and Greg, all new.
Scrubs, new
2 guys,
episode
a
of
girl in a
Scrubs.
pizza place. Rerun.
I can't wait until they reboot Dharma and Greg as like a serious action movie.
I feel like they already did reboot Dharma and Greg. I know they rebooted Will and Grace, which I don't know why I always.
Yeah,
compare
Will and
those
Grace
two.
Was it
thing.
like a reboot though, or did they just start it back up?
No, I think it was Will and Grace. They did some form of reboot too. I don't think
Darmus
anybody-
and Gregus.
Dharma and Greg is actually short for Darmus and Gregus. Gregorius.
Gregorius, yeah. Any fucking way.
Yeah, fuck it.
Hey, thanks for doing my Matrix video.
You're welcome. Actually, as I was just going to bring up, Jimbo here did he started a YouTube channel, and he also started a Patreon. What's your Patreon?
At Senate Glad Bag.
Like, yes.
It's I think it's patreon.com/Jimbo's Paradise. If you just look up Jimbo's Paradise Patreon, you'll find it.
Yeah. So everybody who's listening to this, go be a Jimbo patron,
Please help.
please.
There's
'cause
more expenses in this in my thing than you'd think.
He does much
But it'll
better
be-
content than we do. So,
Patreon.com/KB Toys. You heard it here, folks.
but anyway,
Bring
he
it back,
did
baby. Bring it back.
baby. KB Toys. KB Toys. Hey, people in the audience, make some noise for KB Toys.
I'm gonna have to find air horn sound effects for that.
Just use that.
Yeah. I'll just clip that out.
Hey,
and use it.
everybody, I got a royalty-free clip here for you. Air horns nowadays have royalties. I've got something for you. Feel free to clip this. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, let's get some hopscotch up there. Hopscotch on the black top.
Okay.
And so I've got a sample for anyone to use. Anybody that has a air horn they want to use and they don't want to get sued. Fail. There you go. Just use that.
I'll be sure to use that from now on. Thank you. I'm going to turn that into a proper sound effect.
Hey, hopscotch on into the royalty-free air horn.
But anyway, Jimbo did a video recently on The Matrix. And
I got mad about the Matrix.
Yes, very angry about The Matrix. But it's a good video. It's solid. I edited it poorly, but it's a fun video. You should watch it.
What actually happened in all actuality is Christian took over, like, I think 45 minutes worth of footage and turned it into 20 minutes of slightly usable footage, which then had wonderful editing added and special effects and drink covers and non-drink covers, and it was no you did a wonderful job. You really
That was
turned a pile
extremely
of
well done,
shit
yeah.
into
No,
something
thank you.
incredibly I'm very proud of.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the actual content. When I was watching through, I watched the whole clip through probably like 3 or 4 times before I started, and I was like, this is actually fairly interesting because I didn't, I never put the connection on all the old Chow Yun-Fat movies.
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
like I used to watch that stuff all the fucking time, and then I like got off of it. I was like a teenager when I watched all that stuff, and then like when I was doing the research to like find like clips and stuff, I was like, damn, this is like a complete fucking rip off of
Oh,
these
dude,
movies.
I hope, because there's a video out there where somebody compiled like most, like I was working off a generalized list that people kind of add to all the time, but there's a video out there that somebody took that list I don't remember how long ago, and basically used a bunch of clips from all the visual stuff and put a bunch of them together, and that one was one of the ones that helped me a lot when I was fucking writing everything, because I had already known about a lot of that stuff, and I had already seen a lot of the movies and stuff from just being like a martial arts fan and shit like that.
Yeah.
Guess what? Don't care. Still love The Matrix.
Oh
Can't be
yeah, like
stopped.
still
Yeah.
fucking enjoy it. I don't give a fuck.
Like I definitely have
Yeah.
the movies and watch them. Well,
Wouldn't that be funny if my real position was like trying to actually stop people from watching The Matrix? That'd be fucking sick. That's not me. That's not me. I'm all about trying to get people to watch The Last Mimsy.
Hold on, wait. Are you freezing? Are you frozen right now? Can we,
That was a zoom in part right there. He was just wanting me to zoom in slowly on his face.
what's the actor or the director, whatever, called Chow Yun what?
Chow Yun Fat.
Chow Yun Fat's yeah, he's an actor.
So can we call this episode "Do I Look Chow Yun Fat in This Dress"?
No.
But anyway, I do appreciate the fact that this project got me to watch the first Blade movie.
You know what? You're never gonna get on Saturday Night Live now.
You
Oh no!
Twitter, do your thing.
I didn't even.
But yeah, I am very appreciative that I got to go back and watch the first Blade movie because I haven't seen Blade probably since like 2005 when it used to be on TNT every 5 seconds.
Hell yeah, dude. Shit, they're like, what do we play? Either play X-Men 3 times today and then just throw Blade in there once or twice.
Well, and then it got to the point when they were doing all the Star Wars movies all the time. They would do all the Star Wars prequels like every other day. It was great. I missed that.
I really like to see my life as like a Blade supercut, like just a Blade, but none of the action parts, just the walking parts.
Well, dude, I hadn't watched it. I hadn't watched it recently enough to like realize how like shitty some of the CG is.
Oh, but I thought it was so dope when I was like 9 watching. I was like, hell yeah, blood sick.
But there's like I think I might have used the clip from it. In the video, I can't remember, but there's the last fight between the main bad guy and Wesley Snipes.
Oh, Deacon Frost.
Yeah, Deacon Frost, and Wesley Snipes. You know, he has the sword in the movie, and he cuts him with the sword, and like he like stretches out, like it's supposed to be like blood, I guess.
Yeah.
But he puts himself back together because he's like some fucking super vampire or whatever. So it's just like this really fucking horrible CG blood that's like his body falling apart and like sticking back together. I was like, this is what I live for.
You know what's the fucking best thing about Blade, honestly, and I should have pointed this out in the video, so I'll point it out in this video. Steven Dorff, who played Deacon Frost, is the guy that you now see in blue cigarette commercials and go, is that the fucking dude from Blade? Oh yeah, are you just, oh shit.
What the fuck? Dude, hey man, when you were in a mainstream movie, did you think that you were going to be in a black and white e-cig commercial? And he's like, yeah, so, smoke the thing and just talk real calmly on the beach.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Was it, and I want to say, and maybe this is way off, was he not in a series of vampire-ish, like Ray-Ban ads?
I don't know. The only Ray-Ban ads I see are when my dope-ass friends try to hook me up with the sick-ass Ray-Ban deal on Facebook and send me a private message that's like, yo, just click this link for $2 Ray-Bans. I love it, dude. My friends are great.
Thanks, Nick.
When I think of Ray-Bans, I just think that, you know, like it's like you ever walk into Hollister in like 2009 and they just have like the like same advertisement going on the screens that are in there all day long, where it's like black and white, and they're like really zoomed in on like different parts of their body, but they're trying to advertise like the
just
clothes.
a nipple. Like, buy her Polo's nipple. Slow-mo nipple.
There's a lot of that. Buy a hat.
Buy a hat. Nipple.
Nipple.
New Hollister commercial. Black and white on a beach. Buy our hat.
Well, see, that's the next step you have to take. You got the YouTube started. You got the Patreon. So now you have to do merch, and we'll make you a commercial that's buy the merch nipple.
I do actually have merch planned out. I just gotta go about getting it done. But I have a series of. I figured the best thing to do would be to make stuff I wanted to wear. And what captured what I think is a good image of my sense of humor. And so
it's a lot of hardcore t-shirts.
Yeah, right. No, it's mostly movie parodies, but it's like weird changes in the titles and stuff. I don't want to talk about them right now, but it's a very me thing.
We'll be sure to advertise them whenever they come out, because once again, we are a part of the Jimbo's extended podcast universe.
Should I do bumper stickers?
Yes.
I was thinking about it, like message bumper stickers, like the ones that are just like red with a red background with white text. That's like the ones that are like, you know, my kid goes to such and such school or whatever, something. But it's
Jesus
just
loves you, but everybody else thinks you're an asshole.
It just says something like Jimbo's Paradise. It's where we're going right now.
It should
They're just
be-
like weird little fucking phrases that don't seem to make sense.
How about
That's my favorite. Anything that looks like it was translated 4 times and then back into English is the funniest shit to me.
I think that you should do a coexist bumper sticker, but it's your face bent into all the shapes.
I think I could pull that off, and also that sounds hysterical. Do you think people would be mad about that?
Yes.
Probably.
That's silly.
Isn't everything we do like trying to get people at least somewhat mad at us though?
Yeah, somewhat.
I'm trying to get Twitter to do their thing as much as I can.
I mean,
Twitter never does their thing anymore. They're being lazy.
I know it's really upsetting.
Twitter, quit fucking around and do your thing.
Do your thing, Twitter.
Well, unless you're going to see the Joker, then Twitter's kind of doing their thing at the
You
moment.
you saw the Joker, right?
Yeah, I went and saw it Thursday.
Hold on, what should we should say? Slap on your fedora and grab your AR-15, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go into the incel dome and talk about the Joker.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm an incel, I guess, because I went and saw it. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. Like, it's a good movie.
I heard it had like some really fucking good and uncomfortable in a good way parts.
Sort of, and a lot of it has to do with like Joaquin Phoenix. Obviously, he's a fucking fantastic actor, and like he, you can tell that he like really put himself into it. You know, there's a lot of like physicality to the character. So like some of the scenes that are like the most like uncomfortable are just like he does a lot of like this like weird dancing, I guess. It is dancing. He's supposed to be dancing, but he like the way that he like is twisting his body and stuff is like that, like the way that they frame it is very like uncomfortable and weird. And you know, obviously it's supposed to like symbolize his descent into madness, because every time that he's dancing it's always like it's always like something happens and then he will start dancing afterwards, you know, some like major thing will happen, right?
It's his
like,
ejaculation is what
yes,
it is.
it's his ejaculation basically.
I get it.
No, but it was good,
It's
man.
a man thing. I get it.
That's
it
a
was
man thing.
it was entertaining. I do like the fact that like one of the themes of the film was
Headstrong by Trapped.
It was Headstrong by Trapped. Yes. No, it was like it was like kind of like what I took away from it was really about like the way that like we as society, we live in a society.
Was this whole thing a bullying PSA?
No, it was more like how we treat mental illness, like systemically and culturally, like how we treat mental illness. Because like you don't really think about it. Like what I took away from it was like just personally, I thought about all the times that I would pass by somebody. Like, dude, like we live in fucking Dallas. Like, if you walk down any street in Dallas, you'll see a homeless person or like somebody, you know, curled up in the corner somewhere. And like, you just don't fucking think about that. Like, you don't think about the person.
To dismiss it as like fuck that guy instead of like, oh, there's something wrong. Instead,
exactly.
it's what a fucking weirdo instead of there's something actually wrong with them. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I took away from it is like it's about like I mean, obviously it's a fucking comic book movie, but not in the sense of like, I didn't go in there and I was like, you know, it's not like when I'm watching a Marvel movie. It's like you can actually take something away from it and think about it. So I enjoyed it. I mean, I understand why people are being weird about it, but I enjoyed it.
The thing is though, like, if is a movie, and I get it, you know, I get where a lot of the people are coming from, but the thing is, it shouldn't, like, at some point, how beige is art going to get just to worry about sending a certain type of message? Because at the end of the day, it is art.
But it is an understandable thing that people are concerned about. Like, the things that I see that people are concerned about are like, we're trying to like sympathize with a mass murderer basically in this situation, because obviously anybody who's ever seen anything that's more on the R-rated side of things, I mean, you're really big into comics, so I'm sure you've read like the what is it, Brian Azarian, I can't remember his last name, but the Joker comic, the
Ariana Grande?
Yes, Ariana Grande.
Azealia Banks.
Yes, Azealia Banks. But anyway, there's the like more R-rated Joker stuff. Obviously, is a little bit more on shows like how.
Like Rule 34.
Yes, Rule 34.
Yeah, lots of Rule 34.
but no, I understand that like people are like, oh, you know, more sympathizing with this guy. But I think what I took away from it more is less sympathizing with that individual and more sympathizing with like people on a larger scale, because like the type of shit that happens to him happens to a fuck ton of people all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I can. Here's the way I see it. It's a love your neighbor message.
Yeah.
You love the human because all humans are deserving of love. You love the human, but you reject the villain.
Yeah.
You love the human to quell the villain.
That's a good way to
stop
put
the
it.
villain. Yeah, and that's the problem with people who see this as some sort of like inflammatory thing or something that can reach to and cause violence. I don't see that. I think people are overdoing it on creating their own basically like self-propelled marketing campaign, and alongside that, I think that. There's no, if people are going to identify with that character, I mean, what are you going to do about that? There's villains in every fucking movie.
Exactly.
And just because people choose this one because it's easily accessible at a fucking hot topic, I mean, what do you do about that, you know?
Well, and I think that too, there's a point to where, like, I think people, like, when they say that somebody identifies with something, they think they identify with the whole thing, and it's like, I can identify with parts of the character. Like, especially in this film, there are plenty of parts where I can identify with him on a personal level because there's definitely mutual feelings on a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. And it's like, just because I identify with that part of the individual does not mean that, like, I glorify the character itself, and then I glorify like the actions of the character.
Well, it's kind of also too like partially what you were saying too is like there's like think about there was always sometimes in class there was like the weird kid, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like you like love the human, hate the villain, or a lot of people are just like, oh, weird, cast it aside. Like what I was saying, like say you find a homeless person. And it's so easy to be like.
Well, that's a good example though, because there's so many fucking like school shooter memes.
Exactly.
Like
so I'm like, I feel like, I mean, there are the ones that are actually that broken that take it that far, but I really don't think that someone's going to. I don't think the Joker movie shouldn't happen because of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's weird. There's definitely there are the people like. Like the Joker and Harley Quinn. I want to talk about a Facebook page in a moment, by the way.
No, I know
like
exactly
there's people like, I need my Joker, or like, I'm sick of all these girls out there. Where's my Harley? And it's like their Facebook profile picture is them like in shitty Joker paint.
Well, it's like I posted on the podcast Twitter maybe a week or two ago. It was like Joker TikToks.
Yeah. But even those people who are so stoked for a movie like this, you know what I mean? There's nothing that, I mean, there might be something weird with them, but I think it is a good look. I think it is important to, and I've actually heard that young people in school do this a lot more now in public school. They actually they recognize that a lot more with the weird kids or the outcasts. And there's a lot less of ostracizing because there's a lot more mental health talk out there and more like trying to see them as a person. And I think that's important. We'll see where that goes. But there's definitely, I mean, dude, I just think about like, you went to the the same high school as I. You know,
I was a fucking weird kid.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I was definitely a weird, like, no, but in a lot of ways, I was a weird kid.
But I also moonlighted as a bully, so everything balanced out.
Yeah, so it worked out. Yes, I mean, this movie's perfect for you. But, you were a courtyard kid, weren't you?
No, God.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
No, I definitely made fun of those kids.
I'm talking about the courtyard trench coat kids.
Oh,
that's those who I'm talking about.
The kids I made the Matrix video for.
Well, exactly. So we went to a very, very, very large high school. We went to the same one, and there was this open air like atrium area in the center of it, and that was where all the kids that we were talking about would go, and it probably helped them to kind of have a community of their own.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny to think about that. But yeah, I mean, I think we know how mean young people can be because I don't think your brain is really developed to really see what it does to people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, man, I think there were a couple times in high school that I even would say something which would be rare because I was a kid and I didn't recognize it, where it's like people would be just picking on the weird kid in the classroom. And this girl one time, it was this guy named Jeremy who's a really nice guy. He just didn't really fit in anywhere. And there's this girl in the class, she was a redheaded girl, I don't remember her name, but she kept being like, yeah, you like your sister, don't you want to fuck your sister or something? And he was just sitting there, and I turned around and go, hey, shut the fuck up. And she, like, it just destroyed her for the rest of that semester. And it's like, I think there needs to be more of that. But the thing is, no matter what, there's always going to be bullying. There's always going to be the I guess, can you call it a class system of social classes in high school, I guess? Or not even high school, like, even in the adult world, there's still, like the brony kid at our battle.
Yeah.
See, here's how I've always, because I always make jokes and reference myself being a bully. But if you really look at people I have bullied, I'm more of a Robin Hood of bullying. I bully bullies most of the time. I don't go after random people just because they acted weird. A lot of the time. Shouts out to Zane though, where that was 100. Did y'all actually refer to me at all specifically when y'all were talking about that Facebook post?
I did when I was talking to him one-on-one, because I said the thing is.
Don't worry about it. Here's my point.
Okay.
I definitely dragged Zane in that, but that one was for funsies because I'd had a lot of stuff pent up over time because Facebook groups aren't as fun as they used to be. But anyway, I think that actually should be more encouraged because roasting has become such a part of modern culture. I think that you bully the bullies, and it puts people in their place. It does a lot of the time.
Well, that's why I told him.
Maybe I'm a little extreme.
No, not only like you were saying. No, don't worry about. What I said is literally get goofed on, laugh about it, do it back, because you'll get the same reaction. And that's one of the biggest things. Actually, you taught me when I was way younger.
I think one of the.
I love people fucking with me. It's it's super fucking funny.
I think one of the big things though is like you got to realize like. I feel like you're good at realizing who can give it back and who can't.
Oh yeah. I will never. I have never ever gone after someone for who I feel like is not going to even be able to take it at all.
Dude, you're actually like people that aren't accustomed to that and don't know really how to react to it and take it personally. Every time I've seen you interact with someone like that, you're actually a very pleasurable, normal human being too. But like
for the 5 seconds he talks to that person, then he turns back into regular.
I think too, man. I think that the people that I can be closest with and the people that I can be most open to and like have the longest lasting friendships are the ones that I can say, man, you look like a fucking asshole today, or like, dude, what you just said, stupid as fuck, and then we can move on. But
I will say though too. Like watching the Joker, like obviously all that shit that we've talked about, like the bullying and everything, is really important. But I think one of the more important parts was like the
anti-clown message.
Yes, the anti-clown. No, the actual like the system issues that I thought it was properly highlighted. Like like he not to give too much. I mean, obviously. Not to give too much away, but like he goes to like see a social worker and stuff, and like obviously he's been in the system for mental health stuff, and like I think it's just really well highlighted because like the stuff that happens like with the system side of things, like him going and seeing the social worker and stuff, that's the type of shit that like is very like obviously happens all the time, because they make a point to like talk about like the budget and stuff like that, and they like bring up like
the government side to it.
Yeah, so like that type of stuff too is like I think a really important takeaway. Like I feel like like all this fucking stupid Twitter nonsense and stuff, like I hope it doesn't take away from that aspect of it, because I feel like it's a good thing to focus on, and like take an idea from.
Well, there's a reason the phrase "this is why we can't have nice things" exists.
Yeah, but you guys know that like there is a total difference even with the same people. There's Twitter cult of outrage, and then there's real life. Most real life people don't give a flying fuck.
That's true.
But then there's like the Twitter train that like everyone hops on. I mean, that's just how it goes.
And then people write articles about it, and it's suddenly supposed to be actual like common opinion, and it's not.
Yeah. And people accept it as so, and then it gets posted and shared by people that want to so badly be a part of something that they hop on that, and then the second they're off Twitter, they're like, oh, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like deep down, do you really care?
Oh, another thing just about the movie itself. One of my worries going into it was that it was going to be like too much of a King of Comedy ripoff.
Oh yeah.
But dude, the way that they did it was so good. Like they definitely pay homage to that movie. And if you haven't ever seen King of Comedy, it's this really good movie. It's Robert De Niro, where he plays like a struggling comedian, I guess, and he wants to go on this late night show, so he like ends up like basically taking them hostage and taking the show over or whatever.
I've never heard of that. I want to see that.
Dude, it's really good. It's really good.
When the trailer dropped, I think it was our friend Quinn pointed it out.
So this is like a newer movie.
No. King of Comedy's old.
Okay.
No, King of Comedy came out in like the 70s, I think.
Oh, when the Joker trailer dropped, sorry.
And
I think King of Comedy is actually a Scorsese movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And Scorsese was originally connected with this Todd Phillips Joker movie.
Yeah.
And that's why De Niro is in this movie, is because it is a direct, like kind of, well, not direct, I guess, but it is
It's like an homage in a lot of ways
yeah.
to it, which I thought, like I said, I thought they did a really good job, especially like De Niro's character.
Yeah.
I think De Niro did a really, obviously he's fucking amazing. But
I have an idea just based on how The King of Comedy ends, on how this movie ends, and I don't mean the actual way that King of Comedy ends, but I have an idea of where they go with that.
Dude,
and I think I've got a very good idea of it, especially from how people talked about it in reviews.
Surprisingly enough, the ending was very like I felt like it was a comic ending, not a comic book movie ending. It was like a comic ending. Like I felt like I was reading like Dark Knight Returns or something like that. Like because they another thing is that they obviously pull from the source a lot. There's a lot of Killing Joke in there. There's a lot of Dark Knight Returns in there. Like very famous, obviously, comics that you can notice it from. But like, they didn't like do too much. I think that's like they kind of hit the fine line of like not overdoing pulling from the comics. Yeah. But they did it just enough to where at the end of it, it's like, oh, this is kind of like reading a comic. Like this is what you would expect. Yeah, it was really interesting. I like the way that they ended it for sure. But dude, and there's so many fucking debates on like, the if it's real or whatever type of shit. And I'm just like, I feel like that's kind of like a small point to take from it. I think more to take from it is like, obviously the stuff that I've talked about, but then like just appreciating how it ends and appreciating like that they did. I feel like the fucking Hangover director did a really good job at taking these sources and paying the proper respect to the sources.
Did his homework.
Yeah, he definitely did his homework.
Speaking of, and this is total side note, this is like one sentence. Speaking of making something that's really abstract seem almost kind of real, I saw that movie Ad Astra last weekend, and I felt like it was.
Is Brad
Pitt? Yeah, it's Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, but it was very not marketed. So.
I saw commercials for it on Hulu because I have the non. It
was actually fucking great. Like it was a real, and I'm obviously a space nerd, so it's like I really like that stuff. But they made it seem realistic. Like they talked a lot about like commercial space travel and like there was like T-shirt stands on the moon and shit.
The stuff that I saw from it kind of gave me like a weird like Interstellar ripoffy type of vibe or like.
Ish.
Is it a similar
in the same way that The Martian was?
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay, so there's no aliens, by the way. Good. Yeah. There is that kind of like existential crisis type of thing going on there, but there's none of this like time bending, none of that, and it's not about like to a degree it talks about how the world could end, but like it's not as crazy as Interstellar, and like Interstellar, that movie, like especially the soundtrack, like that's one of my favorite movies ever, but. It was a really good.
Is that the one with Stabbing Westward on it?
I don't even know who.
I cannot save you.
No, dude, the whole Interstellar soundtrack was done by B2K. We both know this.
I could see the look in your eye knowing you weren't about to give me a serious response.
That reminds me, this is completely off topic as well, but Pat, because you're
BB Mac is back?
Because you're a sci-fi boy. Yes, BB Mac is back.
Until you're back here, baby.
I rewatched Sunshine recently. Have you ever seen that?
Is that the one with Chris Evans?
No, it's got Cillian Murphy. It's the same guy who did 28 Days Later, but it's like a sci-fi like.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's really good. It's like it's about like the sun is dying. He might be.
I'm really into. I need to watch it because I'm really into space movies that are less like. And I love the aliens and laser beams and shit. But my favorite are space movies that kind of make you feel like you're insignificant and small in this infinite space, and your life doesn't matter whatsoever. Like movies that I feel like I need to like lay in a dark room for 3 days after I watch. I love them shits.
Yeah, that is definitely a Pat movie. Yeah. You should definitely watch that movie.
That's my favorite type of movie.
Yeah, it was written by Alex Garland, who did Annihilation.
Yeah,
and Dread.
So I wanted to tell you I watched that because it had the realism factor to it. And it was just a side note. But before we stray too far, I wanted to talk about a Facebook page going, hey, get a suction cup up here. Get us a suction cup on here because I'm sucking us back into the Joker. And then you know what? Actually, I don't even want a suction cup. I want one of those little half round things that you turn inside out and then you set it on the table for 30 seconds and it goes and just pops up. Yeah. I want one of them on the screen. You get one at like Putt for like you get like $13 in tokens.
Can you do it 3D where it like shoots towards the screen.
Yeah, obviously, the iPhone has 3D capabilities that we're
Well, I don't mean you put on fucking glasses, Christy. What I fucking mean is it's the motion. It's like it starts back here or something, and it just fucking flies at the screen and startles the viewer.
If we could get
Make some noise.
make some noise, putt putt popper. So if we could get a putt putt popper where you get $20 in tokens and you bust your ass on all these games, and then you get just enough to buy one of those little poppers and maybe a Laffy Taffy, perhaps maybe a bracelet. I just want one on the screen, please, please, please. I just want one on the screen, please. Anyway,
You want to smoke DMT and go play at the mini bowling alley at Putt Putt?
okay, Joe Rogan, let's fuck.
Jamie, throw it up there. Yo, actually do throw something up there and just text, and it's fuck Joe Rogan, and then a little thing down here that says from Jimmy.
Okay.
Can we change
We'll
that
burn
right
that
now
bridge for you.
to say DMT is so fucking sick up there? How about that?
Throw it up there,
Throw it up there.
I hope you guys realize that I'm not doing any of this shit.
DMT is so fucking sick. It's easy.
It's easy.
It's easy.
Simplest.
But anyway, what I was going to say about the Joker is, so Zane and Olin, they've actually, and this was actually very funny to them, they found this Facebook page that was called like favorite Joker and Harley Quinn quotes, and it was a lot of people, probably from your neck of the woods, that had like really bad neck tattoos and shit, that were like dressed like the Joker, and like it was starting to turn it almost like a dating website where like some toothless meth head dude would be like, hey, where's my Harley Quinn's at? Very Spencer shopper demographic people, and fucking
Would you say they may resemble some specific subculture that may be classified as a gang by the FBI currently, or
they're clowns, but they're kind of
I feel like
crazy.
they kind of like half mix in.
Group of crazy clowns.
yeah, they listen to a very specific type of music.
Crazy clown group.
Okay,
Groups
yeah,
of crazy clowns.
Gotcha.
Crazy clown group. I love the crazy clown group. I'm such a big fan of the crazy. Sometimes I like to put on my makeup and go to the get together and listen, wear my chain of the Knife Man and listen to Crazy Clown Group.
Wild Mime Fellas.
Wild Mind Fellows. But anyway, god damn it, I suck.
Get back on topic.
Give me a fucking brain transplant and make some noise! Because, anyway, so what Zane and Olin did is they started posting on the page as, like, these people. And then dude, it was actually really fucking funny because people would interact with them. And then I was like, all right, how can I take this a step further? So then I started acting as one of the people that was seriously on that page and started calling them out as being like, these guys are trolls and they're posting us out. So I started trying to get them kicked off the page.
That's such a good bit.
So what I did is here's how I fit in. And this is genius. Every plural I used an apostrophe at the end of it. So I was like, these trolls, TROLL''S, are trying to make fun of all of us and posting us on other pages, PAGE''S. And then people started agreeing with me, and then people started going and finding the screen caps of him posting it elsewhere and putting it on there. And so I don't know if Zane got banned, but I got Olin banned. Olin, he sent me a message on Facebook that said, please no, Pat. And then like 5 minutes later it said, I got banned. I'm just like, yeah. And then today I said something like, hey, just kidding, guys. I just wanted to get them banned. But it was so funny because I was like, how can I take this an extra dimension? Because they're trolling and I want to, dude, I was on a lot of layers. That was like just Harley Quinn Jokerception fucking cosplaying. I don't know what to call it, but I patted myself on the back because that shit was funny. And I even said to Olin, I know that you're laughing a little bit right now. And he was like, I am. And I said, I'm at work, so I'm nose exhale laughing in a quiet office. And then he said, I'm at school.
I'm at school. Dude, Jesus Christ.
Christian had a genius idea when they were on their way here. Christian goes, hey, send Olin a permission slip before he can come be on the show. But I sent it to him and he said, I can't, I'm 5 minutes away. He'll say it like very blatantly and it's actually really fucking funny. Like that dude actually cracks me up big time as much as I might goof on the both of them. But I guess check out that page. I had to finally leave it today because it was getting posted on so much that I didn't want to mute it. I just left the group. I just wanted to try to goof on Olin and Zane and then got the fuck.
Got the fuck.
Have I told the get the fuck story on here?
Yes.
What was it?
What? The get the fuck story?
That was the story?
Real quick,
Has he told this on an episode before?
I believe so.
I don't know if okay, real quick. I was in New Orleans. I was drunk as hell. I was buying beer at a gas station in the middle of the night after we all went to the bars. We were going to bring back some beer to the Airbnb and hang out. I go in the store, this big line, and this guy walks in. The clerk looks at him and goes, "Get the fuck!" And the guy just goes, "Man," and just walks out. And I was like, "Get the fuck, dude, that works so well. Just get the fuck."
That's good.
So we say it to each other all the time now.
I got something I want to talk about.
Yes! All right, anyway.
An alternate universe timeline where it wasn't Joker that was the big prominent Batman villain, and it was any number of other villains where it would be far more fucking hysterical if it was them, including Penguin, the Riddler, Catwoman, something where people lost their minds and became Clayface. And most fucking importantly, because it would just Jeff Dunham ticket sales would skyrocket. Fucking Scarface, the fucking puppet and the
Scarface
ventriloquist.
is shit.
But dude, I mean, really, like, think about going to see the Riddler, and there's like fucking 25 incels in there in these green question mark suits, looking like that late night infomercial motherfucker trying to sell you finance options. Or think about all those kids like wearing fat suits and like intentionally trying to make themselves look shorter so they can be the fucking Penguin and like waddling around the seats in a fucking thread out.
For those of you that are like under the age of 25, oh my god, I forgot about the late night. So when when my parents would go to bed and I'd be watching infomercials, what'd you get? You had Girls Gone Wild, and you had the fucking, which when you're 12 was like, hell yeah. And then you had the fucking crazy guy who literally was just the Riddler but had money on his suit. It was the exact same shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Catwoman one would also be funny just because there'd be people pretending to be cats all the fucking time.
Which that exists already anyway.
Some people just want to watch the world purr.
Fuck you! What if it was Mojo Jojo?
I'd be so fucking excited.
The incels with like brain cases on their head.
I read an article a few months ago that talked about how racist Mojo Jojo is, and we live in a society.
Yeah, well, we can leave it there that we live in a society.
We do live in a society.
Speaking real quick, a couple racist topics real quick. The other day in
You know, Kerrang rates things on a K scale.
Really?
Yeah, because they rated the new Creeping Death like 4 out of 5 Ks.
Oh, I saw that.
And Trey said, "Thanks for giving us 4 and not 3." And I was like, "Shit, that has to happen a lot, though." Like,
there's a lot of mediocre albums that get rated Ku Klux Klan.
Fucking magazines, dude. Highlights and shit.
Kerrang, you cocky fucks.
Ranger Raccoon.
So this is going to be a bit of an earmuffs moment for you. But the other day I said something about how, God, I can't believe I'm about to say this in front of you, how the Deftones made a career off writing the same song 100 times. Sorry, but Cedric called me a racist because he said his heritage forces him to love the Deftones. And then that made me realize, so he accused me of being a racist. And then I said, that kind of sucks because the other day I was at Buc-ee's and I was like, I found a red hat that I liked a lot. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is $10. Fuck yeah, I'm buying this. And I wore it for like a week before realizing I'm way up here. No one can see the front of my hat. And everyone thinks I'm wearing a fucking MAGA hat.
Weren't you?
Yeah, so anyway, I went home and bought a MAGA hat.
Cedric's half right. It's that, and that he has to like the Deftones because he likes At the Drive-In because he's named after one of the dudes from At the Drive-In.
Really?
Yeah.
The Deftones made a
Family
career.
friend or something, or big fans, or I don't remember what the story was. Either that or I'm making that up.
Could be.
So, do you... Big Deftones guy, as I remember, because you would always play them for me when we were working together at a radio station.
Probably a lot of Saturday Night Wrist around that time.
Yeah. Do you kind of see... I get that there's exceptions, but do you kind of see where I'm coming from when I say that they have a lot of songs that are like, follow the formula of like, okay, so we're going to have a quietish verse and sing real creepy. And then we're going to have the big chorus where it's like super loud, but also sing creepy but louder. And we'll put some effects on the voice.
Every band has their structures.
Yeah, true. What's up, guys? We are Structures.
No, I mean, every band repeats themselves. I mean, some of my more like mainstreamy favorite bands have a lot of, I like Green Day. Like,
yeah.
They have a lot of.
I like
repetitive
Blink-182.
Yeah.
Well, you also like Angels and Airwaves, which is space guitar.
If I had my own world.
It's space guitar singing. Then it goes into a pre-chorus that has like regular non-spacey guitars, and then it goes right back into spacey guitars.
Yeah. You know who didn't? You know who never did that? Aaron Carter. Everything he put out was fresh as fuck, brand new. And everything he does from now on only compliments it as he sells millions of records and leaves you assholes in the dust. And I can't wait till he follows me so I can pretend I don't fucking know y'all. Okay. I wanted real quick, are we about to wrap this shit up?
Yeah.
So I wanted to real quick, if the first sample wasn't good enough, I'm going to do a couple quick sound bites, royalty free. Anybody, feel free to use these. So the first one, if you don't mind, please put a rap air horn on there. So this is a royalty free rap air horn soundbite. You can use it for anything if you want to. So ready? So you can go ahead and use that, clip that, use it for anything. I won't sue you. You can hear verbal contract. That's free. Another one for you people who don't want to get in legal trouble, but you want to make a compilation video of epic bro moments. Again, you can use this. I don't mind. Go for it. Bruh. So there you go. You can use that one. No problem. Royalty free. If you want to, my name is Jeff. You can use that one as well.
Thank you. I'm going to use all of those. I appreciate that.
Can we get a soundboard that's just me making?
Yeah, we need to make you a soundboard that's just you doing all the fucking...
21?
Yeah, well, I guess we can wind down now. Thank you very much, Jimmy Green, for once again being the third host and letting us be a part of your extended universe.
Yeah, of course. Let's hope there's never a buyout.
Or maybe we could have a buyout.
You know what? Before the buyout happens, you and I need to get bought by another podcast universe so that there can be a fight between...
we're like the Fox and Disney fights?
Exactly,
Dude,
yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Or the Sony Disney fights.
I'd rather lose Christy in like a Sony Marvel Spider-Man situation. I'm trying to get my videos produced and he's getting tossed up in the air.
I'm willing to be that. I want to be the Spider-Man of this universe.
God, what is it? In that case, what forgotten superhero does that make me that only shows up in reboots every 20 years?
You're,
Howard the Duck.
Hey, guys. Yep. You're going to have to be you're going to have to know a lot about it to know who I am.
Oh, fucking great choice.
Well, God, here's what sucks is that you're not wrong.
All right, Jimbo, where can everybody find you?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and then like every other podcast platform now. Apparently, it just kind of goes out there. But that's where I'd prefer you to listen. Let's see. I've got a
sub to the YouTube.
Yeah, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel.
Put a link.
Put a link.
I will put a link.
I don't have enough followers to have it like a youtube.com/ yet. So it's like a bunch of digits and stuff.
Yeah, we'll make you a Bitly or something.
Okay. Bitly. So we're going to be putting more content out there. My YouTube channel is definitely a partnership between myself and Christy. He makes the magic. He makes my ramblings into something watchable and enjoyable, which is, that's half the fight. Let's see. I'm on Twitter at Jimmy Green Radio, Instagram at Jimmy Green Radio. I've got a Patreon. Just look up Jimbo's Paradise on Patreon. Even the smallest bit helps a lot. Even if you only help for a couple months, or you want to do like a small amount over like a year or something, whatever, it really does help a lot with trying to get all of this done and everything I'm expanding into doing and so much, so forth, so long.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on. Thanks to you guys for listening or watching wherever you're doing it. You could follow us on Twitter at PodPathetic. Don't follow at Scented Gladbag on Twitter.com.
Dude, whenever you say the thing about not following my Twitter, oh my God. Dude, when you do the part about not following my Twitter.
You can also find us on Facebook.
Follow at Scented Gladbag on Twitter.com.
That was a good impression of a blown out Halloween decoration.
Dude, Halloween decorations that have been in the garage for several years be like, Halloween decorations that have dirt and water in the speakers be like, and they're faded black.
You can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and thanks again for checking us out. We'll be back next week, per the usual.
Follow at Scented Gladbag on Twitter.com and 90fucking90, and I guess Halloween decorations that have been in the garage and they're faded plastic, and if you try to hang them up, you're going to break some of it because they've gotten sun through the garage window way too much, and the speakers don't quite work. Be like,
9090.